Hello. Welcome to
Monday with the Mavens
2023.
Yes, this is our first live. Whoa,
hold on.
Hang on. Our first live since 2022. In 2023, and we're super excited, guys. We're talking about goal setting. We're talking about habits. And things like that. How to reach your goals.
But a little different than I think what a lot of people, I mean, who knows, maybe not,
we'll see.
But I don't know. A lot of people are setting goals right now, which is a great thing. That's a great thing to do year round. But if you set a goal without a plan to actually achieve it, the likelihood of it happening is pretty slim. And I mentioned this in stories earlier, and I always find statistics super interesting because how do they actually quantify this? That's the part to me that's interesting, but I still think it's good information. Yeah. And that is that I think it's 20% of people set a goal this time of year, which actually was lower than I thought.
Yeah, I feel like maybe people are rebellious and they're like, I'm not setting a goal because it's the first of the year.
But of those people, only 30% of the 20% reach their goal. So that's like a 6% chance of setting a goal and reaching it. 6% is really low. But if you look at what those people that are in that 6% are doing, a lot of them have commonalities, regardless of the goal, whether it's like physical, financial, relationship driven, any of those things. And so we want to break it down because we want to reach our goals. We want you to reach your goals. And if there's things we can be aware of and working towards that are going to help us do that, why not?
Seriously.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's get into it.
Okay, but before we do, I feel like there's a lot of headspace.
There is. It's a lot.
I'm going to try something.
Oh, what? Yes, you did it. Good job.
Is that there?
Somebody liked that.
Woo!
Adjustment.
Thank you. Okay, first of all, we do have Instagram and Facebook, so our eyes are like, woo.
One of my goals for 2023 is to figure out how to stream these simultaneously.
So that we can both be looking at all of you at the same time.
So one of the strategies for goal setting is to say it out loud. Let people know. Yeah. Now all of a sudden I'm accountable to all of our bazillions of followers and people out there who watch us every single week.
Yeah, look out.
So in the next few months, if we're still doing this, bouncing back and forth, then somebody message me and be like, hey, what are your action steps that you're taking to reach the goal of eliminating one of these phones?
Do it. Okay, before we jump into that, just have to say, today is our last day to take advantage of our crazy good special that's going on right now. We're so excited that so many of you guys have. We love the opportunity to learn about your goals, to be very strategic in how we can help you in your, bio-individuality and your own goals and all the things. We have a killer group of coaches. And right now, if you sign up solo, you get 25% off your first month. And that's good through the end of today. Or if you sign up with a buddy, a family member, anybody, or more, each person gets 50% off their first month with any coach. Yeah. And we don't really run specials like that.
Not like that one. This is a good one, especially if you have a buddy. If you have a friend or a family member or a spouse or somebody who's been thinking about signing up, now is the time, like literally in the next few hours, because midnight tonight, guys, donezo. And who knows when the next special is going to come out. And then I feel like I've got wings.
The other thing, which is actually coming before midnight tonight, it'll come actually shortly after this, is we are going to draw the winner for our amazing giveaway. So when you're done here, head on over. If you haven't tagged your friends and family, do so. If you haven't shared it, do so. We have such a fun giveaway of some of our very favorite things. Yeah. So there's a box of Built Bars, there's a Baker and Olive vinegar, which we love. There's a Lily Eats and Tells cookbook. There's a Stanley water bottle.
A bottle of Mighty Metabolism. Mm-hmm. You guys, it's so good. I think it's like $200 or $250 value. Yeah. And we will send it right to you. So hop over. If you're on Facebook, hop over to Instagram, or you can do it on Facebook too. But share the posts about our special, share our stories, tag friends, and get entered to win. And we will have that
coming up
before
soon.
too long.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump in. Goals and habits. So here's the thing. We talk about this all the time. It's great to have a goal, right? But if you don't have what you need to then back up that goal, it's gonna be fleeting. And so we talk about motivation all the time. And motivation is fleeting, just like goals can be fleeting. We're really motivated right now, right? Well, where are we going to be in 2 weeks, in 3 months, in 9 months from now with that same goal in terms of motivation? if you don't shift that so that you have discipline based off of habits, then when motivation goes away, you have nothing to fall back on.
Yeah.
And so we talk all the time about creating discipline through small habits and not tackling too much at once, which I think is where we're going to start.
Yeah.
So that when motivation goes away, you go into autopilot and you do it anyways, because it is part of your habits that you have formed over time, and it gets you on a trajectory and towards optimal health or whatever that goal may be. And it makes it so much easier to have sustainable results.
Yep. And honestly, guys, sometimes it's hard to hear certain things, but like hope is not a strategy. Yeah. I heard that a few years ago and I was like, man, that is so good, because I can hope for all the things in the world, but if I don't have a plan on how to get me to those things, for instance, let me just tell you a little story time. Besides the fact this hair is driving me insane.
It's funny, I haven't even noticed it.
I'm just going to try to tuck it back there.
Well, and I didn't wash my hair today.
Yeah, so sorry. I did. Today was hair washing day. Anyway, I have a client who signed up with me a long time ago, months and months ago. And I literally never hear from this person. And she's really frustrated because she's not reaching her goals. And so I told her, I said, what was your motivation for signing up with us? Like, let's go back to the beginning. What was your motivation? And she wanted a lifestyle change, but she wasn't in a place in life where she was willing to put forth the time and the effort that it was going to take to get her to her goals. And so I said, and she was really honest with me. She was like, honestly, I was hoping that if I signed up for a program that like, that's all it took. And she's like, and she's come back around so far, and she's like, she's put in the work and she's actually has done amazing things. But she needed to realize that just signing up for a program wasn't going to get her to her goal. Yes, that's step one. However, there's so many more steps that precede that to help you get to that point. So yes, set a goal, but there has to be a plan, you guys. I feel like a broken record. I say it constantly. When my clients send me goals every Monday, little mini goals, like I plan on working out 3 days a week. My next question to them is, what days are you working out? Like, you want to work out 3 days a week? I love that goal. That's amazing. Now tell me which days are going to be and what time are you going to the gym, or what time are you going to go for a walk, or whatever it is. Yeah. So yes, set a goal, but then work backwards. How are you going to get to the goal? Setting the goal is not enough. That's just the very beginning.
Yeah. It's pretty easy to set a goal.
Yeah.
The work comes in and actually accomplishing that goal. And before we go too much further, I want to talk about that too, because I think, and I've been guilty of this in the past, and that is, it's easy this time of year, especially when most people are reassessing, like, where am I at? Where am I going? How am I going to get there in every area of life, right? Just because it is like with new, like fresh, it feels like a little bit of a fresh start. The problem is that if you get too overly aggressive in your goal setting, in terms of having too many things you're going to try to do at once, the likelihood of you actually accomplishing any of those goes down. There is a statistic, and I don't actually recall the specifics off the top of my head, but it's pretty profound in that every additional goal you add to the list, how much it reduces the likelihood of accomplishing any one thing. And so I really think if we can take a moment, and it's good to have a lot of different goals, but if you can take a moment and really look at what is most important to you and what is going to then lead to some of these other things. It's back to that like lowest hanging fruit, right? Like, why try to reach for the very top when you have these things down here that foundationally could make a huge dent? And so if we're talking about health, the biggest thing that you can do is nutrition. And we talk about that all the time, but if you can dial in your nutrition, like 80% plus of your physical outcomes are going to be the food you eat, not what you do in the gym. It just isn't.
Oh, let's talk about that for just a second.
Yeah.
Because honestly, and I'm not big on statistics. I like them, but I feel like you can make them say whatever you want. So I think instead, I'll go to what I think happens in life. I feel like a lot of people, especially in the new year, they set these goals like, okay, this is the year I'm going to get healthy. And the number one thing that they do is they get a gym membership. And maybe it gets used, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't actually matter. Yeah. Because honestly, like the changes that you're hoping to see in your physical body, you are going to come by them so much faster if you start with what you're eating, if you start in the kitchen. Like, honestly, like, the shortest distance to your health is the kitchen.
Yeah.
From wherever you're at to the kitchen.
And that's not just physical outcomes. That is all the things, you guys. That is your gut. That is your brain. That is your nervous system. That is your endocrine system, which is going to be your hormones. It's going to help your sleep. Like, we talk about all the things, but if you are wanting to work towards showing up as a better human every day, because when we feel good, we act differently. Like, it's just the way of life. Then nutrition is the foundation of those things. Now, movement is fantastic, but if a goal is health and you don't have your nutrition dialed in, that is the best place you can start.
Yeah.
And if you want somebody in your corner that is going to be strategic and understand a process that works and be your accountability buddy and help you course correct, like, hire a coach, whether it's us or not. Like, consider working with somebody that takes the guesswork out of it for you, so you don't have to recreate the wheel, because you will get there so much faster. And then start looking at adding these other things in that are going to help you perfect. But if you can dial in your nutrition and really start to have more sustained energy and better, deeper sleep and a better hormone harmony and a more balanced mood and higher libido and better skin and hair and nail, like, all the things, like, food is the foundation of that.
Yep, it's true. And if you've been a gym rat your whole life, like, it is not too late for you. Like, you have already built amazing habits. Like, that was my story, is I was in the gym constantly, day after day after day after day, without fail. And it wasn't until I dialed in my nutrition that my body actually changed. Yes, I had newbie gains at the beginning when I very first started exercising, absolutely. But then I just stalled out and my body wouldn't change. It didn't matter if I changed up my workout routine or whatever. It wasn't until I adjusted the foods I was eating and, started counting macros and hired a coach that my body changed. But I built on the habits that I had already had in my life. The going to the gym every day, like, those are still parts of my everyday life. And so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't quit going to the gym. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that, like, if you don't have an exercise routine or exercise practice currently, and you are looking to improve your overall health, start in the kitchen. Start with what you're eating, start with nutrition, and then let's build on those habits once you form them to then get your body moving.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. Okay. So let's talk about goal setting. And maybe you've already done some of this, but maybe you could rewind a little bit and reassess after talking through some of these. And if you guys have tips that work great for you, like, please absolutely add them.
Let us know.
We're a community, right? And so, like, we'd all love to share information, all of the things. But one of the things that I think that we all need to do when we're looking ahead and when we're looking at goals, and I wrote it down because I really like this word, you want to be ruthlessly clear about what your target is and why it matters. I think the why is just as important as the what and the how.
Yeah.
Because if you don't identify a why, it's going to be really hard when motivation is fleeting. And we talk about our why a lot, and it's going to look a little different depending on what the goal is. It's so important to understand your why, whether it's a physical goal, a relationship goal, a financial goal, whatever it is. Be really clear on your what, as specific as you can be, and your why, and write it down. Speak it out loud. Like, maybe not to everybody, but just verbalizing it and writing it down, and write your why down. And we tell our clients this sometimes too, because it can be really powerful. And that is, let's say if it's health related, write your why down, put it on sticky notes, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it on your refrigerator, put it on the dash of your car. Like, remind yourself your why, because it's going to help you when you are lacking motivation.
Yep. And you can count on that. You can count on the motivation going away, you guys. It's just, that is life. It takes a long time to build habits. You have to power through the tough times when you're not motivated. And I remember, I just feel like it wasn't that long ago, but it was, where I would wake up, I work out really early in the morning. So does Emmy. And I'd wake up in the morning and I would, like, assess myself. Like, do I have a headache? Maybe I have a headache today. Maybe I don't want to go to the gym. Because, like, honestly, like, at 5 a.m, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I would rather stay in my warm, cozy bed and, like, I don't know, just lay there, maybe go back to sleep, maybe just lay there and listen to music. But oftentimes, like, I'm not motivated. But once you make the decision and you tell yourself, and I hear it all the time, like, oh my gosh, I don't have any self-discipline. But you do. Yeah. Do you know, here's a statistic. I did write this down. 40% of our daily behaviors every day are habits. Habits that we have formed whether we like it or not. 40% of the things that we do during the day are habits. One of those habits for me happens to be going to the gym. Yeah. I get up in the morning. I don't even think about it, you guys. My clothes are set out. I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear. I get up, I put on my clothes, I get some water, and I leave. That's it. That's how it goes in the morning. Yeah. I don't assess, like, do I have a headache anymore? Maybe I don't feel good. If I don't feel good the night before, then I don't go to the gym. Yeah. But if I'm trying to fake myself out and be like, maybe I don't feel good, I know. Also, if I don't purpose the night before, sorry, there's the cutest thing happening over here.
I would turn my camera if I could, but my son and my Betsy, my Weimaraner, are up on the couch, and Betsy has her front paws up on the back of the couch looking out the window, and Scout put a blanket up over her, so it looks like she's like a human, cloaked, like looking out the window, standing up. It's really
Have
cute.
You seen, I feel like there's an Instagram like feed or something of Weimaraners dressed as humans
because they look so like
regal.
Yes,
yeah. And she's looking at
so cute. Oh, you're such a good girl, Betsy.
She's a good girl. Anyway, count on motivation going away and not being there every day, and then you just have to rely on discipline. So put the ship in motion, you guys. The night before, plan ahead. Put your workout clothes out. Yep. Or if you're doing, focusing on your nutrition, shop ahead of time. Go to the grocery store on Saturday or Sunday or whatever day works for you. Plan the week out. Yep. That's how you're going to meet your goals. If you go in without a plan, what is the saying?
If you
fail to plan, then plan to fail.
Yeah. Yeah, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. It is so true. It comes down to the plan. And that actually leads us into the next one that I wrote down, which is when you have your goal, when you are ruthlessly clear, like we talked about, on what your goal is and what your why is, then from there, break the goal down into smaller pieces because you have to have a strategy. So you're going to want to reverse engineer it, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just say that you have made the decision that you want to improve your health in 2023, whatever that looks like for you. You might want to shed fat. You might want to be stronger. You might want to have more energy. You might want to get better sleep. You know, any of those things. You might want to increase your performance, like whatever it is. So, okay, you have that goal and you know that the best thing you can do, it's like that 80-20 rule, right? So 80% of what you do leads to 20% of the results. And then like that top 20%, which are often the things that we put off or procrastinate, actually leads to 80% of the result. Like that's what it is with nutrition. Because for whatever reason, especially here in the West, like food, we've created this crazy relationship with food and we use it as such a reward system, and food is medicine. Like it is. Like food can heal or food can poison. I'm going on a rabbit trail here.
I was just going to let her go and see like so there's a box over there and it says soap on the front of it.
I know.
And she can just claw her way up to the top and hop on and then let us have it.
Okay, but breaking your goal down. So let's say that it is nutrition. Okay. Or let's say that it is improved health. And we know the best, most affordable, least resistance way to get there is evaluating and changing your nutrition. So if you've made that decision, then you're like, okay, it's going to be nutrition. Okay, now what do I do? Is this something I can do on my own? Is this something somebody can help me with? Is this something I want to hire a skilled person for? So then you make that decision. Let's just say that you are going to make the leap and you're going to commit to 3 or 6 or 12 months of really having somebody partner with you on your own journey. Then you raise your hand, you do a consult,
you get our special if you do it in the next few hours.
Yeah. And then you have somebody in your corner that's going to walk you through the process. Or let's say you're going to try to do it on your own. To each their own, for sure. So then you're like, okay, I have a plan. Whether you've created a plan for yourself or whether you have a skilled coach that's going to really help you get there. I have more to say on that. But then from there, you have a plan. What do you need to make that plan happen? What do you need to have on hand? What support system do you need? Who do you need to tell, this is what I'm doing and this is why it's important and this is why I want your support? What tools do you need on hand? What reminders do you need to set for yourself? What are you going to do when motivation is fleeting? What habits are you creating to make sure that this is going to happen? Like, those are the tools that if you can reverse engineer, like, could you set aside a half day to do a little bit of meal prep? What staples do you need to make sure you have on hand? Do you want to just set it up so they're automatically delivered? Or do you want to have a specific time on your way home from work that you get these groceries each week? Like, automate it so that it is there.
And I think that what is a stumbling block for a lot of people, and tends to be this way for me, is the same amount of time goes into making these decisions, you guys. Yeah. So you can either consolidate the decision making to like one time. Let's say that it's meal planning. Let's say that your goal is better nutrition and you've hired a coach, or you're doing it on your own, or whatever. But one of your goals is better nutrition. And so part of that is creating healthy meals for your family. Let's just talk about dinner, creating healthy dinners for your family during the week. Well, so then you can make the decision all at once for, okay, I'm gonna figure out what's for dinner Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night. Or maybe I don't need to cook all 5 nights. Maybe I only need to cook 3 nights. You can make all of those decisions at one point. Go to the grocery store and shop for all of that food. Have it on hand so you only have to do it once, or you can do it like on a whim, right? Which tends to be a little bit less, people tend to be less successful when they are operating without a plan. So I like to have a whole meal plan like written down. I like it. I don't do this often, but I used to, and I wish I would. Maybe I will. Maybe that'll be one of my goals.
I like it.
Anyway, where you write it down, you shop ahead of time instead of doing like, oh, what's for dinner tonight? Yeah. And then it's a scramble, not an egg scramble, but just like you're scrambling to figure out what you're going to make for dinner. And then it ends up being this hodgepodgey thing that falls maybe outside the boundaries of your macro plan, or, you know, all of a sudden you're not hitting your goal of better nutrition because you didn't plan ahead. So you're still making the same amount of decisions, but if you can do it in a space where you can consolidate them, make them all at once, and then apply the strategy to attack it. Go to the grocery store, get the healthy food, clean out the sugar from your house, whatever that looks like for you, then you are setting yourself up for success right out of the gate.
You are. And I'll just give a little tip, because I am not one that plans out our whole meals for the week. I would love to say that I am. People that do, I think, have a tremendous amount of success. We have a little bit of an unorthodox schedule. We, have to shift. We eat out a few times a week. All the things. You can all make it work within a macro plan. However, there are a couple things that stand out for me. One, I do a lot of bulk protein. It just makes it really easy. I'll, do a big thing of like 6 pounds of carnitas that we can use in different ways. I always have marinated chicken on hand that I can throw in a skillet. I always have salmon fillets, individually wrapped ones, a few thawed. I just have things that make it really easy on myself. Also, we went through a season and we stopped this just because we want to mix it up, but this worked really well for us for a while, and that was having a theme each night, not necessarily something specific, because I don't like a lot of repetition for what I eat for dinner, but it was a theme. So if I recall, Monday nights were burger nights, so it could be like a traditional burger, a chicken burger, or lettuce wrap burger, whatever it was, but we did something in that vein. Tuesday night was like taco night, or something in that vein. So it was like tacos or burritos, and you could do a bowl, or you could do tacos, or you could do anything in that vein. But I'd always have some form of shredded chicken, shredded beef, something like that. Wednesday nights, I think, were surf and turf. Thursday nights were eat out night. We had like every night, and then we would mix it up within there, and it just made it really easy to know, like, okay, this is what's coming. Let me get this out the night before.
Whoa,
sorry. Or whatever. Sorry.
She threw her cloak.
Yeah, she did. Thank you, buddy. So it helps in taking the guesswork out of it. And then also, for those of you that are tracking, if you start with your dinner, plan your family dinner, track it first, and then work the rest of your day around it when you're pre-tracking, because then you can sit down as a family, have what you want. The other meals can oftentimes be more flexible, make it delicious. Like, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. And some of those things just come with habit over time.
Totally. Yep. I love that. I love all of that.
Okay, so first we talked about being ruthlessly clear about your target and why it matters. And we just talked about breaking it down into smaller pieces. Next, and we did touch on this a little bit, setting up a supportive environment. It's really hard, you guys. It's doable, but it's really hard to go at something totally alone. And I think that's one of the things. Yes, we have fantastic knowledge and a process that is killer and scientifically proven and all the things. But I think one of the things that why our clients have such success is they have somebody in their corner that is watching, that is cheering them on. They have an entire community. Like, having a support system, and that support system knowing what you're trying to achieve, and having them be there to help you achieve that is huge. Whether that's a friend, a family member, like your spouse, whatever it is. And not everybody has the luxury of having those types of people in their life, but there are people out there that can support you, and having that support system to fall back on when things are hard or you're not feeling it, or like it makes all the difference in your outcomes.
Yeah, totally. And right now, it's a shameless plug, you guys, but she like totally set me up. It was unplanned, but like get a buddy. And if you want a deal, like right now, like today for the rest of the day, like if you want to sign up with Macro Mavens, if you've been on the fence and you're like, I don't know, find a buddy, sign up, take advantage of our deal. Or like get a gym buddy. If you want to go to the gym, if that's your goal, then get a buddy to go to the gym. I will tell you, Emmy has been my gym buddy for many, many years. And every once in a while, it doesn't happen that often, but she'll be out of town or whatever, and I'll show up at the gym and I'll be the only one. And it's hard, you guys. It is hard to go to the gym.
A lot of times I would not get out of bed if Haley wasn't out there waiting for me.
Yeah, it's hard. And so like get a buddy who is like your hype girl or your hype boy, and they're cheering you on and they want to see you win. And that alone makes a huge difference. If I knew I was going to the gym by myself every day, it would be really difficult. But knowing that like, okay, Emmy's going to be there. She's going to be ready. We're going to work out. Like, that's just what we do. It makes it so much easier to not think I have a headache in the morning.
Well, and I think it's so true for anything. Like we talked about exercise, we talked about nutrition, right? Relationships. Like if you're wanting to work on your communication, like find somebody that can help you become a better communicator. If you are wanting to improve your financial situation, like have somebody analyze where you're at and where you want to be and the next steps on how to get there. Like it's so true. If you any area of life that you want to improve on, there are people out there that likely know a whole lot more than you that can take the guesswork out of it. And why not capitalize on that?
Absolutely.
Like I'm at a place in life where, coaches need coaches. Like I think that there's a lot of areas of my life where in the past I've been like, I can figure it out. I can do it. Like, I don't need anybody. Well, yeah, I do. Like there's like brilliant people out there that know so much more than me in so many areas, and like why wouldn't I, if I'm in a position to, take advantage of that? And so I am just all about partnering with people that can teach me things that are going to get me so much further and so much faster than what I could do on my own.
Amen. Yes. I like that.
Thanks,
thinking about all the people I want to hire to help me.
Same. Yep, I know. Like it's
Like why try to figure it out? Like life is too short to spend your time like trying to figure out things that
life is too short to spin your wheels.
Yeah, like get people on your side who know what they're talking about, who know what they're doing, and then you use their knowledge to help you be better.
Do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what?
This one.
I can't read your writing. Oh, yeah.
Visualization.
It's really important.
And I'm not like, I am good. I'm a visual person for sure. I don't often stop, period.
I was just going to say that. You should end the sentence right there.
But I don't often stop and like really take the time to like envision what it is that I want. And that's...
Oh, like put a picture of it in your mind.
Put a picture of it in your mind. It's really powerful. Like if you can stop and envision, let's just say it's health related. If you can actually take a moment, picture yourself 3, 6, 12 months down the road. What are you doing that you're limited on right now? How are you feeling? Like put a feeling to it. Like I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling clear of mind. I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Bouncing out of bed with tons of energy and powering through the day with a positive attitude.
Yeah. And like, what are things that you can't do right now because you're uncomfortable? Like envision yourself doing those things with joy and without pain. Like get a mental picture of it because it is powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can see yourself already at your goal, then, oh man, that alone, I feel like is super motivating. Yeah. It's super motivating.
Yeah, because we want to be specific, right? It goes back to that specificity. Like, we can say words, but if we can then take those words and put them into a picture that we can see and feel and experience, like even in our brains, it's one step closer to making it happen because you're cognitively something is shifting.
Yeah.
It is really powerful, and I do not do it near enough in life.
No, neither do I. This is a good practice. We should practice this.
We should practice all these things.
Yeah. Another good thing to keep in mind when you're setting goals is put a time limit on it. If you set an arbitrary goal, like, someday I want to do X, Y, and Z. Well, someday may never get here. So instead, put a time frame on it. Say, in 6 months, I want to be here. Or in, whatever it is. I told Emmy today I'm going to go off of social media except for our Macro Mavens stuff for 30 days. Like, I'm going to start with 30 days, see how I feel after 30 days, and then we'll reevaluate. I'm not saying I'm done with social media for the rest of my life. Like, that to me doesn't feel realistic. Yeah. Or I'm just done with social media in general. No, I'm going to put a time on it. Like that, my goal is 30 days, and then we'll reevaluate. And so I think that it's really important. If you set a goal and we want you to set giant goals that like feel almost unattainable, but put a time limit on it. Be like, in this year, in 2023, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Have a plan for it. And then if you get there, awesome. If you don't get there, reevaluate, set another time goal on it, and then, get there. We have that with Macro Mavens. In the next 6 months, we want to do X, Y, and Z. And then in 6 months, we'll reevaluate and say, well, which one of the, were we able to do the things that we did? Yes. Fantastic. And what about the things that we didn't, the goals that we weren't able to meet? And then where was the fallback? Because you can almost always go back and see what got missed, and then you can reevaluate and be like, well, we need to do things a little bit differently in order to reach this goal. Let's set up our plan a little bit differently and go about it a different way.
Yeah. One thing Haley just said that I loved was like, don't be afraid to set a huge goal. Like, you need to have strategy to get there, and you need to be realistic about a timeline. But a phrase that I've heard for years now is big, hairy, audacious goal. It's a BHAG, and I love that term. And like, don't be afraid to put it out there. But then you got to back it up.
Yeah.
With the things we've been talking about. And like goals are great because it gives us something to work through, and our brains were designed to work towards something, to have purpose in a lot of different ways. One of my goals, and I haven't actually spent a lot of time on, because I kind of like to think that I'm constantly reevaluating my goals, but I've just been in a space in life where I'm evaluating a lot of things, and intentionality is really big for me right now. And so like, I think about like, I want to make sure that my exchanges, my time, especially with my family, like, is very intentional. And so I can picture like how I want to have undistracted, intentional connection in a lot of different ways, and how to create that, and how that makes me and my family feel, and how to limit those distractions and all of those things. And like, that ties into health too. And so, but you gotta be specific, and you need to evaluate what you can change and maybe what you can't, and like, start with that low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. This next one is kind of along the lines of the last one, and that is, make your goal a part of the way that you define yourself.
Oh, that's good.
It's deep. Like, do you define yourself? How do you define yourself? Do you like the way that you define yourself? Do you want to change the way you define yourself? Not how other people define you.
That's the question. Because honestly, like, whether you think you define yourself or not, you do.
Yeah.
And what we mean by that is like, I would define myself as a healthy person. And I want to, like, that's what I want to define myself as. And so maybe that's your goal. Maybe you want to be seen as a healthy person. I want the people in my life to be able to count on me, to be energetic, to do the fun things, to go on adventures whenever we want to. Like, that's who I want to be. And that's how I define myself. But there's so much more to that, you guys. Oh my gosh. Like, it's like saying it out loud. Like, I want to be a world traveler. Like, I want that. Like, that is how I define myself. Like, and what are the steps that you're going to take to do that? I'm going to work hard at my job so that people feel fulfilled, and they will hire me as a coach so that then I can buy the airline ticket that will take me to the place I want to go. Like,
it's huge. Yeah. And if you start shifting the way you define yourself to include these goals, it puts you on this trajectory so that your desires, your motivation, your discipline, your habits, the picture you have in your brain, the support system you have, it all starts to be intertwined, and it helps you go down this lane of getting there, because the people in your life know what you're trying to achieve. You know what you're trying to achieve. You have tools to do it. You have a safety net for it. You have accountability for it. and it's part of who you are becoming.
So I don't do this very often because, and it's funny because you asked me, actually, we were in the hot tub maybe a week or so ago, and you asked me like you asked me about visualization and how I visualize things. I'm very auditory. I'm not a very good visualizer of things, like just in general, but I hear things. But right then you were saying all of these things, and what I had pictured in my mind was all of these little streams, right? And they're all converging into a river that is going to a location. It's going to the ocean, right? So let's say the ocean is your goal. There's all these little rivers and streams that are going into this river that eventually will get you to your goal. So set your life up for that, you guys. Like, oh, I'm so excited because we have the power. We have the power to do this. So many people feel like they are stuck in a rut and can't get out. Today is the day that you define who you are, you set your intention, you set a goal, you create a plan, and then you go after it. Put all of those streams, they're all going to the river that is going to lead you to the ocean of your goals. I like that.
I love that. I love that like picture.
When you said that, that's what I saw.
Tana, I love that. So over on Instagram, Tana says that her goal is to do 200 hikes this year. That is a lot of hikes.
That's
I reached
lot.
157 last year. That's amazing. I identify as a
hiker. I love that.
And your pictures are incredible.
Yeah.
Like incredible.
And girlfriend, you have to have a plan for that. Like if your plan is specific, which I love.
That means you're hiking more than every other day.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. And so she has a plan, you guys. That is the perfect example. She has a goal. It is specific. 200 hikes in 1 year. In order to do that, you have to have a plan. You can't just be like, well, I don't know, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. No, you got to like purpose. Like you have to have purpose. You have to have the right shoes. You have to have the right gear. Like doing 200 hikes, she's going to be hiking in the rain. She's probably going to be hiking in the snow. Like you've got to be prepared. And I love that.
I do too.
Well, keep us posted.
Please.
Post about them all. I think that would be a really fun follow when I get back on social media in 30 days.
Make yourself a note.
That's
funny. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna, we might keep this shorter today. We'll see.
I feel like we've been talking for a bit.
Oh, maybe we have.
Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
Okay. Maybe consider, and we're not as good about this as we should be, maybe consider rewarding yourself. Small rewards along the way.
Because I'm a huge fan of this. I've actually been doing this my whole life. When I was in college, story time.
Yeah, I love
story number 2.
Story time with Haley.
What
should we call it? Haley's
hot takes.
Yeah,
hot takes.
Hot takes with Haley.
So when I was in college, like a lifetime ago, my husband and I, we didn't have a lot of money. We were pretty poor, and I would finish a quarter in school or a trimester, whatever it was. And I would go, and maybe I've said this on here before. I feel like I've told this story before. Yes. Yeah. I would go to the bookstore and I would buy myself a fancy pen. Yeah. And that was my reward for reaching the goal. And honestly, I wouldn't have done it if I didn't do well in school, but I'm a very good student. And so as long as I
everything she does.
That is not the truth.
Except for cartwheels.
And a whole slew of other things. Anyway, I would buy myself a fancy pen, and there's nothing better than writing on like newspaper with a nice ballpoint pen. I love that. So give yourself a prize. Yeah. Don't make it food related. Food shouldn't be a prize, you guys. Food should just be fuel that we use to fuel us. I mean, honestly, that's what food is. So, but give yourself a prize.
It can be small, it can be big, but like little rewards along the way, they do help with that motivation, which then leads to that discipline. I mean, it's amazing. And so define that though. Define that ahead of time. Like what are some rewards that when I, get to this point, I can experience, but then follow through with it because it really can make a huge difference.
Do you do that with your kids? This is a terrible example and we've shared it before and it's kind of naughty because it goes absolutely against what I just said about not using food. But I would keep, especially when my kids were little, and I actually found some the other day, but I would keep little treats in my pockets for my kids. Like when we would go skiing when we'd be on the chairlift, I'd have little treats because I want my kids to like me. So I'd pull out like little, usually Skittles. I'd pull Skittles out of my pocket and we'd share.
Well, you even did that for my kids last year.
So I had Skittles in my pocket last week and they melted because it was really wet. Anyway.
Scotty's like, where were my Skittles?
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I had them in my pocket. But yeah, like a little treat like that, it really can go a long way to motivate you to get to your next goal.
It can. Okay, guys. So we're going to do a little bit of a wrap up here. So we talked about our special which goes through tonight. So absolutely reach out. It does not commit you to anything. You can go to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. It's a free consult with a coach. See if we're a good fit. If you have a goal of improving your health, the best thing you can do for yourself is nutrition, and you need a strategy. And as we talked about with any goal, why not find somebody that can help you so you don't have to reinvent the wheel, to meet you where you're at, to give you accountability. But regardless of what your goal is, we talked about some specific things that can help you get there. And absolutely, if you joined in late, go back and watch. I think even Haley and I have some takeaways from this that we're going to implement for sure. But I'm just going to go through the list really quick. 1, be ruthlessly clear about your target and why it matters.
Yeah.
You gotta be clear. You've got to be.
Yeah.
And
why? Like, why is it your goal? Why do you want to be healthy? My son actually set a goal. Story time again. My son set a goal. It was the coolest thing, you guys. Yeah. My kids are the best. But we were talking about goals. He's like, hey, Mom, you want to hear my New Year's resolutions? I was like, yeah, totally. And he had them in his phone, and they were so thought out. And one of them was he wants to get to state on the ski team this year. And so he said it so perfectly. He said, I want to go to state for ski team, so I'm going to go to the gym and get stronger. And so it was like, yes, his goal is to go to state, and he had a plan. I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get stronger, and that's going to get me to state. And that's what you have to do. You have to be so clear, and you have to have a plan. Otherwise, if it's like, I just want to be healthy, like, well, how are you going to do that?
And you have to know your why.
Yeah.
Like, identify why is it that you want to reach that goal. And then remind yourself of it. Like we talked about, like, put it around your house, put it in places, because motivation will be fleeting. You've got to create discipline, and that comes through those small habits. And habits with health are so much of what we work with our clients on.
Yep.
We then talked about breaking the goal down into small pieces, and we gave some examples. You should go back and watch if you haven't.
Yep. There are little steps that get you to the big goal. So the goal may be on the top of this mountain in the distance, but there's a whole lot of little things that have to happen in order to get you there. Break it down.
Set up yourself with a supportive environment. Even if you don't have that naturally, find a support system that is going to be there for you and going to be your safety net and going to hold you accountable, because it makes all the difference when you start to slip.
Yep.
It just does.
So tomorrow, Emmy will ask me, Haley, were you on social media today? And I'll be like,
I'm going to do it.
Nope. Sure not, unless I was posting on Mavens. Maybe you guys will get to see my mug more often than you
more.
think.
I hope. People love seeing your face.
They
do. In fact, you should go back and look. There's a bunch of little hearts on your story.
Well, I don't ever go in and like read what people say.
I know. Okay, share your goals with others, especially if you have an accountability buddy. And if your goals change, make it known. But writing it down and speaking it out loud is super powerful.
Yep.
Envision. So we talked about the art of having a visual representation of reaching your goal. Like, it's so powerful. How do you feel? What are you doing? Like, especially with a health goal, like that act of actually envisioning it shifts something in your brain, and it is so powerful.
It is. I have a client who keeps a pair of pants. It actually goes both ways. When she started with me, she had a pair of pants that were really tight on her, and she hated it, and she just wanted to not fit in those pants. She wanted to be too small for those pants, and she got there. But she keeps those pants as motivation. And the other thing that she had, which I love, is she had a pair of pants from, I don't know, years back that were like her most favorite pants, and her goal was to fit in those pants. Like, that was her goal. Very specific. Her goal was to fit in the pants, and doggone it, if she didn't get in those pants, and just like felt elated. And so I love that. It was very specific. It was targeted. She had a why. She feels amazing. And yeah.
I have a client, she's since graduated, but we stay in touch, who really wanted to hike a specific mountain with her son. She has I think like 19, 20-year-old son, and she really, really wanted to make that happen. Of course, she wanted some of these other benefits like body recomp and fat loss, but like, she really wanted that. And so we talked through, like, journal about like, how that's going to feel. Like, how are you going to feel at the top of the mountain? Like, what are you going to talk to your son about? Like, she had a picture of what she wanted it to be like, and she did it. And it was better than she even envisioned.
I was going to say, usually it's better than what you think, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
But having that vision helped keep that discipline there and that habit forming, because she had something to attach it to. And man, it's powerful.
Mm-hmm. We keep saying that a lot.
We do.
This is all powerful. It's really powerful. Inspiring. We're inspiring me today.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, good. We're going to go write some goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next?
Okay. And then this one we talked a lot about, but making your goal part of the way you define yourself. Like whatever that is, have it be part of your future definition. Yeah. Because we should define ourselves and we should redefine ourselves and we should have our goals be part of that definition. Otherwise, it's just words thrown around.
Nobody wants to just throw around
words. No. And then we talked about just having little rewards along the way. It can be... I don't know. It just can be that reinforcement, and try not to make them food. Like using food as a reward system is a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And so, like pens for Haley. Like I love that. I love that.
So silly, but like really meaningful. And I really looked forward to that. We do, if you are not a Macro Mavens client, we do a monthly challenge every month. And for our clients who complete the challenge every day for the month, we put them into a big drawing and we give them a prize. Like, you guys, there's just like little things. Like, what is something you love? Like, is it going and getting a pedicure with your best friend? Like make that like a reward. Like if you make it halfway to your goal, go do this, or
buy yourself some flowers. Like,
yes.
Whatever it may be, that's going to just bring you joy.
Yeah.
Like it comes back to that joy. And that's another thing that I'd like to say before we wrap is, does your goal, does your why bring you joy? Because if it doesn't, maybe reevaluate, because life is short. And man, if we can all look at our joy meter and like, what are we doing when we're joyful? How can we do more of that? Because then we're going to spread joy to others. And on our website, macromavens.life, the toolbox, we do have a free tool on there that is just like helping you strategize how to become more joyful, because it does work towards better health. And if we can all take that moment and pause and reflect and actually like go through the homework on there, you might be surprised.
Yeah.
Sometimes there can be little things that you can adopt into your life a little bit more that like really changes the level of your joy meter.
It's true.
Yeah.
Give people more hugs.
Yeah. She gets a lot of hugs from me.
I do. I like it.
Okay, and then I just want to, I just want to come back to the 80-20 rule, because we spin our wheels a lot, right? And we think that we're moving towards these things and we're checking these things off our boxes, but step back and look, because oftentimes it's those little things that we're putting off that are that 20% that are going to make up 80% of the difference. And that's how it is with nutrition. And just like coming full circle from where we started, if your goal, if one of your goals or your main goal is to move towards better health, feeling better, having more energy, shedding fat, being more confident in your own skin, improving your sleep, any of those things, nutrition is where you got to start. It is the foundation to everything, because it's all connected. And we talk about this all the time. Like our gut is connected to our brain, is connected to our nervous system, is connected to our endocrine system. So it's all going to be how we're feeling, how we're expressing ourselves emotionally, how we are getting deep restorative sleep at night, where are our energy levels. Like it is all connected, and it can come back to food. So having a strategy for how you fuel your body and your brain, and having somebody in your corner that can walk you through that process, is going to get you there so much faster than trying to do it on your own.
Yeah. And remember, 40% of your behaviors throughout the day are habits, right? And so think about, like, if you're wanting to change the way you look at the world or the way you operate, like, what are you thinking about all day long? How are you spending your time? What are the things that you're doing to build these habits? Because honestly, the more time, whatever we're thinking about and the time that we spend doing X, Y, and Z, those are the things that are building the habits. So look at it. 40%, that's a lot, you guys. That's almost half of the behaviors in your day are habits. If you want to change and shift those, like evaluate it. Like if you want to exercise every day, well, you got to build time for that. You got to create a habit for it. What time are you going to give up, doing X, Y, or Z in order to go to the gym, or whatever you want to shift, you guys. So just recognize that, like, you can build new habits whenever you want to. You just have to be purposeful about it. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm going to eliminate social media for 30 days. Like, I don't want to spend that time. I don't want to spend my time on it anymore. I want to give that time to something else. And so, I'm going to create new habits, and you guys should too. So think about it. Think about how healthy are the habits that you already have. Do they need to be reevaluated? Do you need to rework some of them in order to feel better about yourself or to enjoy life more, you know?
And so much of what we work with our clients on is that habit forming, right? So of course we're working with them on an individualized nutrition plan that is very specific to their bio-individuality, their goals, all the things. But then as we get that underway, we can start working with them on habits for deep restorative sleep, habits for becoming more stress resilient, habits for being more hydrated, habits for getting fiber into your day, habits for eliminating inflammation in your body, like all of those things that then stack so that when our clients get to the point where they can graduate, you know, if you're curious about our process, we have a whole overview on process, but we want them to have a higher caloric intake, a leaner body mass. We want them to have the sustainability to carry that on throughout life with the tools they need because they've created these healthy habits that make it super sustainable.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that spreads into their family, which is so cool.
It is. So if you're curious about what we do, you can head to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. Again, it doesn't commit you to anything. You have a few hours left to take advantage of our special 25% off if you sign up solo by yourself for any one of our packages, 3, 6, or 12 months. If you sign up with a buddy, which is what I would do because then you have an accountability partner built in, sign up with a buddy or a spouse or family member, whoever that is, and each of you will get 50% off of your first month of any package. You guys, it is a killer deal. You only have a few more hours to take advantage of it. If you want to try to win the prize that we have, like head over to our social
right now because we're going to actually do that really soon.
Yeah, and share and tag your friends, and then we're going to do that drawing here really quickly. You guys, we love this community so much. We love interacting with you guys. We hope that you enjoy listening to our ramblings, our musings.
Like to ramble.
Our musings.
I like musings with the Mavens.
Yeah. So anyway, check back here next week. We should be back here same
day,
same-ish
time.
Same day, same-ish time. I was going to say same place, but we're often in other places. Yeah. So
also, thank you. You guys are what allow us to do this. And we had a really, really wonderful 2022, and Macro Mavens continues to grow. We just sent out a newsletter just with some of the highlights of 2022 and what's to come in 2023. And it was really fun to kind of go back through and see the amazing coaches we were able to add, some of the programs we were able to add, group coaching. We're in 31 states and a couple countries and growing, which is like so cool. Fun to actually look at that. And, you know, we've got to help over 1,000 clients. And like, it's really remarkable. And it's because you guys are showing up and interested in what we're doing and raising your hand and doing the work and then telling people about it. And like, we couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah. So if you are inclined, if you want to, we would love for you to share your goals, your New Year's resolutions, whatever that looks like for you, and tag Macro Mavens. We would love to see what your guys' goals are for 2023 and be a part of partnering with you guys to crush those goals. And we're just so excited. And we're happy you guys are here. And Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Bye.